Scott, what's wrong with you?
Go away, man.
Scott,
Go away.
What's wrong? You didn't look yourself.
I'm just... It's games, innit?
Do you want to talk about it?
Aye, I do. I do want to talk about it. Recently, I've been having a lot of thoughts about video games. Now, BitSocket, we're a positive channel. We're all about positivity, sharing enthusiasm for the things we love. But recently, I began to notice there's so much negativity around, and I thought we could just no comment, like we do with a lot of things. We just don't say anything. But I thought, by not saying anything, it's not like we're condoning what's going on, but it's important that people come out and say how they feel. Imagine video gaming is like this lovely, beautiful Glasgow Green, one of my favourite places. And sometimes you walk through Glasgow Green and you see dog shit everywhere. And that's what it feels like. People now, instead of having, sensible discourse or conversations even about things, there's just a vicious amount of aggression. There's these terms that you start to see happening more and more online. There's social justice warrior, SJW, and white knight. Now, social justice warrior is apparently someone who wants, games to be inclusive, to be almost equal, so we're getting equal representation for lots of different people. They're not saying you can't have your shooty man games. What they're just saying is, hey, Assassin's Creed, 4 players. Why don't at least one of them be a woman? And white knights, of course, are the people who tend to be men, for the most part, who are kind of standing up again, talking about things like feminism, talking about things like equality. And the term white knight is used to kind of slag them off, to belittle them, to try and make people like me and you think, well, maybe I shouldn't say anything because I don't want to bring all this aggro down upon my head. But the thing is, if you don't say anything, this all builds up. All this hate, all this bile builds up and builds up and builds up. Now, recently we had Phil Fish, who for many is a figure of derision, but you know what? At least he's got some opinions. He's a guy who's came out with some maybe things that people weren't too keen on. What did they do? Hacked his website, posted his personal information on him, so he's left Twitter. And he's just won. There's people like Zoe Quinn, there's people like, the abuse a guy who was working in Call of Duty got because they made a gun 0.1 seconds slower. So, of course, the reasonable thing to do is death threats. Or, I hope you get cancer. Because, that's a reasonable thing to say. And we just think, where does this come from? Where does all this come from? Where do people think this is acceptable to come up with this chat? There should be 2 ways you think about responding to anything. There should be option A, which is, let's think about it in a calm way. Let's converse. Let's see what opinions I have and what opinions you have, and let's try and come together to have a proper conversation, because that's important. Conversation is important for helping you form opinions or even changing your mind about things you thought you had set. And then there's option 2, which seems to be what's happening more and more often.
Nuke the entire site for Morbid.
Option 1 isn't always easy, but it's the more rewarding one. It's the one that helps you grow as a person. Option 2 is appalling. It's something that we shouldn't be doing. And yet it seems to be that's what happens on the internet now, again and again, with more alarming regularity. When I'm saying we, what I don't mean is we as in, we who make videos or we who are on Twitter. I just mean the community of people who play video games, because they can do so much good. And yet there seems to be this tiny wee kind of dark heart of it that are so determined to almost chase away anyone who's bringing new opinions to the table, who want to help games diversify. The more you push away the people who want to make games even better, the worse games are going to get. And eventually you're just going to hear ugly voices reverberating in a big empty room, and that's all video games will end up being. I don't want that. I want us all to be pals. I know we won't be, but that's why we've called this video Let's All Be Pals. That's what I want. I want what they've got. I want video games to be like those guys, hanging out, having a laugh in the park in lovely Glasgow Green. But they will only be, will they? But maybe we can just hope. And that's all we need, isn't it? Just hope and some sunshine.